All right, guys. Today we're going to talk about something. Some people might think this is kind of out there, but it's not. Healing is not what you think it is. Although it can be what you think it is, and I'll mention that too, but this is actually something many of you have probably already experienced. Some of the things like interactions that you have with people that seem ordinary, they're not. And when I point these out to you, you're going to go, wait a minute. I've been already doing this, right? So normally when people think of healing, they think of like healing somebody's sickness or raising the dead. And that's a thing, actually. Um, I'm going to go ahead and link down below for you a Gregg Braden video where he shows you a video that somebody made of these healers. I want to say Hindu in China. I think that's what they were. But along those lines, right? Okay. These shaman, these healers that literally were using their hands to shrink a woman's tumor. I'm not kidding. It's on video. They have the ultrasound there and everything, and all the doctors like confirmed. And everybody was like, how in the hell is that possible? So there is that, but I'm not talking about that. And that's, maybe in the next life for most of you watching. I don't know, maybe somebody watching can do that. But even if you can do that, you already know that the patient also has to believe that it's possible. So everybody has to believe it. It's not just the healers doing it and then the person receiving it doesn't have a role to play. But I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about just like changing people's lives in some other measurable way. And I've experienced this so many times, guys. Also, those of you who may be familiar with my existing work, working with my other spiritual students, I've coached thousands of spiritual students. I teach the law of attraction professionally. Some people think that I don't like healing, and I don't know why that is. I like healing. I've done healing. Healing is good. It's just not spiritual. Spiritual is what makes healing possible, however. And so we'll talk about that after I give you the signs, or maybe while I'm giving you the signs. I'll go over those things because spiritual is just consciousness. So the type of healing that you've probably already been doing on people is going to be measured by usually like psychologically, emotionally, and you probably are already doing that if you're watching this video. So here's the first sign: people are drawn to you. And right after my spiritual awakening, and again, I'm one of those people that have experienced one of those very drastic, um, like spontaneous awakenings, a forced awakening. And it starts out very painfully. It's very dark. And after you get through the dark period, like all of the sudden you feel different and your consciousness is expanding. And then all these people are drawn to you. And some of you watching, you may not have had that type of an awakening experience, but still, you're a little different than other people, don't you? It's a thing, guys. Consciousness is increasing in the human race on planet Earth right now, and people, they just recognize it. Now, here's the thing: they don't realize that they recognize it. People are drawn to you because they see something, but they don't know what it is that they see. And this can come in a couple of different forms. Sometimes, like some of my spiritual coaching students, they'll say, it seems like I've got like this ability to trigger people, and they're drawn to me for the wrong reasons. It's like they want to verbally attack me, and just being in my presence triggers them. Like I didn't even say anything to them. But what happens more often is people, they just want to be around you. It's like, I just want to touch you or something. And it's like they feel this presence and they don't realize that they're doing that. It's like unconscious or subconscious. You ever notice that? People do that. They're just drawn to you and they don't know why, or they want to talk to you, complete strangers, even. Now, it's because your consciousness is increasing. And people that are drawn to you typically are still living through ego mind, right? So remember, body, mind, soul, back to basics, right? If you want to understand how this stuff all works. So the soul is consciousness. That's who you really are beyond the mind and body. You're the soul, right? It's consciousness mostly. It's pretty much it's consciousness. Okay, that's the soul. And the mind is thoughts and emotions and metaphysical energy, chakras, kind of that whole thing. Consciousness is not thinking, and you can't figure out consciousness, by the way. So the mind and the soul, like there's no, like you don't heal your way into becoming spiritual. You just are spiritual. You just are consciousness. However, you can use consciousness to heal the mind. Yes. And you even have this effect on other people, and that's what they want from you. Is they want that consciousness that you have, like you have more of it. You're explosive. You're just this awakened person. And most of you watching probably have had some form of suffering, even if it wasn't as drastic as mine was. But that tends to make you more conscious. That's a thing. Suffering does cause people to awaken. You know, Eckhart Tolle and the Buddha, and they all talk about this. Michael Singer. Um, and the thing is, the people that are drawn to you, they still believe that they are their mind. That's the teaching. That's the basic tenet of spiritualism, which is that you are not your mind. You are consciousness, right? In fact, that's the name of the first chapter of The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. You know that book? You should read it. You want the law of attraction to work? You got to start with that book. The Power of Now. 80 to 90% of your manifesting game is your Zen game, guys. Right? So genuine spiritualism, that has to always be the core. Also, by the way, before I forget, I have a free masterclass. It's only about 22 minutes. You can start watching right now, right after you're done with this video. I'll link it down below for you. There's a link. There's also the Gregg Braden healing video. It's fucking mind-blowing. But I'll link my masterclass. It's free. It's just one of my YouTube videos. But think of it like a quick start guide. Because I'm pro level, guys. I teach this professionally. I've taught this to thousands of people. And you wouldn't believe the things people are manifesting. So go check that out when you're done. And that's what I talk about is this consciousness. That's what's creative. That's what causes things to manifest. And looks like my video froze. You're going to get the Kool-Aid man. But that's what people are drawn to is they believe that they are their mind. And the mind is externalized. It's duality. So it's always seeking out there for what it thinks it needs. And when they see consciousness in you, they think they need it from you. That's what they're doing. And you'll notice a lot of these people, they seem that way, like they're needy, right? And it used to really turn me off. Like these people would like come to me, people that were in pain, people that were confused about their life and everything, and they just wanted something from me, and I didn't know how to help them. This was, 30 years ago. But that's what it was, is the ego mind. It's externalized. It's always looking outside to get what it thinks it needs instead of realizing that they have it in here. Speaking of having it in here, let's talk about the next sign. Intuition. You just know things about other people. And I'm going to be doing a video pretty soon on this channel. I'm going to do like a little teaching about what is intuition. How would I know if I was experiencing intuition, if I was, and then what can I do? What do I do with the information? And then also, what can I do to cultivate intuition? Like, how can I get more intuition to happen, right? And I've already talked about some of that in my past videos already. I just haven't done like a video specifically about that. So that's coming down the pike. But go check out my other videos. I talk about this stuff. But yeah, intuition, you guys, you just know things. It's like deja vu. In fact, and deja vu is actually a form of intuition because it's this weird, eerie knowing that you've done this before or you've been here before, and you're like, how do I know that? Like, did I do this yesterday? Maybe I had a dream. What the fuck? This is deja vu, right? And you're thinking all these thoughts, and you think that you are the thinker, right? And that's what people say too. Notice when we talk, the words we use, we say, "Oh, I'm thinking blah blah blah." No, you're not. Technically, you are not the mind. You are not a thinker or an emoter, emotions and thoughts. And I'm not saying emotions and thoughts are bad. It's just not who you are. It's just a spacesuit, the mind, the ego. It's a mask, okay? But there's something under there, which is consciousness. And it's this deeper intelligence, right? And that's where the intuition is coming from. It's this knowing. And notice there's the knowing and there's thinking about the knowing. So that should be your first clue. Those are two different things because they're coming from two places. Intuition comes from the soul, guys, your higher self. Thinking is the ego mind, which is just a bunch of like old tape recordings, which you have been taught by this world to believe that you are. You think you are that bundle of tape recordings, old patterns and habits and, stuff like that. But you just know things about other people. You're just overcome with this knowing. And it's like, I just know this person is going to have this thing happen or whatever it is. Right. All right. What's the next sign? You have a measurable effect on people. So these people, they come to you, you know things about them, maybe, maybe not. And you don't need to get every single one of these signs. I'd say you should probably get at least 5 of these signs. Right. 4, yeah, okay, sure. You might need to meditate some more, read Eckhart Tolle's book, watch the Samadhi movie. I'll link. Just look it up. Samadhi. You really should watch that movie. Samadhi. It's Samadhi. 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 Right. Watch part 1 first. Don't skip around. Don't start with part 2. I don't know why you would, but some people do. Or the rest won't make sense to you. Just write that down right now. Samadhi, Samadhi. And then part 1 is called Maya, the illusion of self, right? You got to get out of that. You got to transcend the ego. 80 to 90% of your manifesting game is your Zen game, right? Consciousness is what actually causes. Thoughts are just things for you to focus on. And when you focus on something enough, it shows up in your reality. Well, this consciousness is what's causing you to have this effect on people. And you have a measurable effect on people, right? Um, what they come to you with a problem and you just know the right answer. I don't know. And everybody just thinks that you're just smart or something. Like, wow, yeah, that's a really great idea. Thank you, right? And I don't know. Just what I think is the right thing to do. You don't think it's any like extraordinary gift or talent that you have, but they do. They do. Why? Because they're not tapped into this, guys. They're still living in ego mind. And that's fine. That's not a judgment. That's just the way it is. That's what they're doing. They don't know that they're doing that. And maybe you're showing them that. I don't know. I mean, shit. I've just straight given copies of The Power of Now to people or Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, right? I've given people that book and it really had a big effect on their life. You know, I was just in the right place at the right time. And that's one of the things that goes along with all of these signs. You always find yourself in situations with these people. That's one of the signs we're going to talk about in just a minute. But it seems like whenever you give people advice or you tell them to do something or you give them some kind of an answer or you lead by example, maybe it's a coworker, somebody you work with, and it takes a while for them to start getting it. I don't know. You inspire people. Does that ever happen? And it works. It works. Like they make some kind of a measurable change for the better. And you're not even trying to do it. You just do. It's awesome, but I don't consider myself gifted or anything. I'm just kind of living my life. But that's the thing is you're living up here, guys. You are, if you're able to do this stuff. Okay, number 4, there's not a lot of things that throw you off your center. There's just not. So you are, and it happens. I mean, life still brings you challenges. That's fine. That's not what I'm talking about. But it just doesn't seem to happen as much as it used to, right? Like you are always just so present. You're not really in your head about things all the time, out here thinking past future all the time, right? And that's what all the great spiritual teachers are going to tell you. That's why, again, Eckhart Tolle, his book is called The Power of Now, right? And most of the time, that's where you're at. And you feel this gratitude most of the time. You're really just pretty chill most of the time. You don't really get worked up about stuff. There's just not a lot of stuff that throws you off center. You're emotionally regulated. Well, what is causing that? Consciousness. Consciousness is like the fuel source of the mind. And the more consciousness that there is, the more balanced that you're going to be. Nothing really gets to you. Again, sometimes life does bring you challenges, but it's just not like it used to be. Not at all. Okay, number 5, anxious people seem to calm down around you. Really, like, you ever seen one of those nervous little dogs, right? Like the little poodle, and it's always yip, 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 yapping all the time, and it's like shaking and nervous, like it just had 50 cups of coffee. You ever see a person like that? And maybe that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but it's somebody that's just always on edge, right? And when they're around you, not only are they drawn to you and you seem to have an effect on them, this is one of the effects. With anybody else, maybe this doesn't work on them, but for some reason, when they're around you, they're just different. I don't know. They just calm down around you. They don't. And again, it's your consciousness, guys. That's what healing is. You can use consciousness to do actual healing, right? Healing is psychology. It's the mind. And there's like I've talked to an actual clinical psychologist. I spent a couple of years talking to a really good one. He had like 30 years of experience, PhD. He's written books. He's a college professor. I mean, he was good and highly recognized. I spent a couple of years talking to him, and it's all like conventional psychology, right? And it helped. It really helped having somebody to talk to about stuff. We were talking about my family, like my parents, and that kind of thing is what we were talking about. But this is like, I don't know, bring like adding space to the person's mental their mind. It's like you don't even need to have a conversation with them, just being around you. This is a story. If you guys ever get the chance to read, there's another book by Eckhart Tolle called A New Earth. And there's a story in there where there's a woman that was just like in his space. She was just around him. And it was like a big weight was lifted off her shoulders. And she looks at him and she goes, "You healed me." And he goes, "Oh, I did?" Okay. And that's really all it was. He just turned up his presence like a light dimmer switch, is how he put it. Right. And Michael Singer, he talks about this. Ram Dass has talked about this. It's just consciousness. And people, they seem to be different around you. They seem to be calmer around you, you know? Okay, number 6, you always find yourself in situations where you are helping people. It just always like people, it's like you're not even trying. And it's like, there doesn't even have to be people, getting tongue tied. There doesn't even have to be people coming to you. Like sometimes that happens too. But other times you just find yourself like right place, right time. Somebody needed assistance with something, some advice, like not necessarily like helping the little old lady out with her groceries out to her car kind of thing. Not even that, but just, I don't know. You were right there at the right time and you were able to offer some assistance to somebody. And it doesn't even, This is the thing about this, you guys, that's so remarkable is most of the time, you don't even have to go out of your way to do any of this stuff. You're just in the right place at the right time. Funny how that works. Okay, sign number 7. This one's going to sound a little out there, but it's a thing. And again, all you need are 4 or 5. 5 signs for sure. You're on the right track. You're a spiritual badass, right? But if you get this sign, if you don't worry about it. It's like orbs. I'm serious. Orbs. I'm not really sure what they are. Maybe they are spirits, guardian angels, dead relatives, but you'll see them. I used to, so like during my forced awakening, which is when you're getting really revved up, right? I would see orbs. Like I would be doing a live stream on YouTube or something, and I would see these orbs everywhere. And other people would see them, and I would like wake up in the morning and look over the window, and there they are. Just I don't know. I would see these orbs all the time. I know that sounds weird, but it's a thing, guys. So that's one. And then the last sign, guys, and stick around. I got a bonus thing for you at the end. The last sign is you have dreams about fixing things. And I don't think I really need to explain that one. That's a thing. You have dreams about fixing things. Now, here's the bonus information. My paid coaching. It's not expensive. It's very affordable, and it's insanely comprehensive, you guys. There's actually 3 modules that you get. They're all included with your original purchase. It's over, I think, 40 hours long, the whole entire video program. And I'm going to show you the actual science behind manifesting, how this is a real thing. And even modern physics is proving that out. There's physicists telling you that the universe is mental. Serious. So go check it out. There's a link down below if you want to sign up. I even have payment plans. So I take the total package price and break it up into 6 easy payments. You can get started right away, and then you can talk to me on a group coaching call. So check that out. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys have a great week.